Good evening, everybody, and welcome along to VSL F1 Season 9. This is round number 7 of the championship, and this is the second sprint weekend of the season. And we head to the home of British Motorsport for the British Grand Prix. It's not that long before we get started with one-shot qualifying, so we better get cracking. My name is GeForce, and joining me in the commentary box, I'm pleasured to say, is of course Mr. Evil Dragon. How you doing?
I'm back alive after dying. COVID's still here. I'm still dying of that slightly. So if I do suddenly cough and suffocate death, you probably know why. But Silverstone, first hosting a race back in 1948, first hosting the F1 Championship in 1950, the first ever race, has held pretty much every F1 race around here, apart from a few, of course. Brands Hatch, Aintree and Donington Park respectively also hosting races, though Donington Park hosted the race of which was most famously the European Grand Prix 1993, which Ayrton Senna went on to win that day in the appalling conditions. Luckily for us, Jess, not appalling conditions above us in the sky. 22 seconds, because remember we do have a sprint weekend, so one-shot qualifying ahead of, I believe it's 8 laps, and then of course the main feature race as well, which is the 50% race. But first car, who are we going to get then? My gamble is probably going to be on a driver. Yes, it is normally a Haas historically around here, and indeed it is. As per usual, here we are then, Charlie Harris through Club Corner, down the Hamilton Straight, spot the break, well, not the braking zone anymore, of course, into Abbey, quick flick right, and then a little bit left, then into Farm Curve. Watch your braking zone down into Village, the tricky right hander, almost like a hairpin, before you come into the loop then. Little left-hander down in top so far, hasn't had the greatest lap for him as you come out of Aintree, and then down the Wellington Straight, of course, where the Wellington Bombers were situated in the old World War. Past, of course, the Brooklands, big Charlie on the right, and into Brooklands Corner you come then, chuck it into left field, little right-hander before you come on to Woodcut Corner, the old pit lane on the right-hand side, the grandstands on the left. All cheering for all the drivers. Here we are then. Let's see Charlie Harris chuck it down into Cops Corner. Does he take it flat? And the answer to that is probably a slight lift off there. A little bit wide for good measure. But he'll keep going nonetheless. It has invalidated, but we'll keep going on board with him right now. Through gets down into Beckett. And then, of course, into Chapel Corner. He might have backed off his lap time ever so slightly there, but hopefully we'll just carry on watching him, I suppose.
Hey, oh, he's retired on track.
Well, Speed Knighton then. Here he is, down the Hanger Straight, down into Stowe Corner, into the right-hander. He's currently in P1 so far, as he now comes down into the Vale Chicane. And let's see, left, right, and then into Club Corner, the final corner on this circuit. Right then, right, keep it all flat, keep it to the inside line as much as you can, and across the line, Knighton there, 27.3, P1 for him. Foxy Red has been disqualified. Charlie Harris is going to get himself potentially in trouble for retiring on circuit. But, Jess, a action-packed qualifying, just only 5-6 drivers managing to get a lap in.
Yes, indeed. So I believe it was Pete's first pole position of the season. That's a very good sight, actually, because he's not at the best of seasons. But we're not going to talk about the A word because we haven't given that good the last few weeks, haven't we, in our leagues? So, we've got Pete from Casper, Timo, Kieran, Senderman, Matter, Foxy Red, Flexi, Finley and Hayden. Then we've got Tony, Charlie Harris, Jinx and Cam. Only 14 drivers tonight, but usually sometimes with 14 drivers is usually a good thing, at least as well. So, we are about to get underway. Don't forget, of course, the sprint race decides the grid for the 50% race. They do not have to pit unless they get damage or if there's rain or anything like that. So if they do pit and if it's dry, then they're in a bit of bother. But they could pit under safety car conditions, for example, to be on the softer tyre will be interesting. And talking of rain...
Jess, I just want to say, by the way, it seems that someone readied up too early as well, because... Oh, I thought readied up too early, because of course you meant to wait for 2 minutes before you start, but they didn't. So, Quali went straight into it. No one's got their setup on. Well, quite a few of them might have got their setup on. So, that might be under investigation.
That might be everyone will probably have to provide their POV for this one.
Yeah, because someone's done a little bit of a boo-boo right there. But now they'll wait 2 minutes. But Really, you might as well just go at this point.
There is a part Ferme glitch. So the thing is, when they put part Ferme on, but at the moment until it's fixed, they can change their setup during the race weekend.
Yeah, well, there's some lucky puppies there, then, aren't there?
Yes, and to be honest, I think at VSL, I think in this sort of scenario, because they didn't have enough time in one-shot quali, I think that's allowed. So they're let off because some people didn't have a setup. So if you are listening, by the way, and if you didn't have a chance to load a setup, if I were you, load a setup. You won't get told off for it because we're nice. But anyway, and that's commentator's curse number 1 for me, Liam, because I said that people don't have to pit unless it's raining.
Well, unfortunately,
it's raining. It's not full wet. It's inter. So there you go.
Yeah, it's intermediate conditions. Now, the crucial thing here, Jess, this afternoon, Pete on pole in the Alpine. And
oh God,
let's see why. Because historically this season for poor Pete, he's not had much fun. Neither is his teammate as much. Third, I think, fourth in the standings right now. Had some ups and had some downs. But round Silverstone, a circuit which Pete historically knows pretty well, and of course, I think he's won a few races around here in the past. He's hoping for a good drive and hoping that he doesn't end up backwards into one of the corners on the first lap, which
he
very
said
easy
it now.
to happen. It is very easy to happen. We are in the wet round here. Turn 1 is going to be very tricky. I know very well about turn 1 and spinning it off into the grass and crying. But, well, I say that I did get a little bit tapped into the spin at turn number 1. I was very sad because I was on for a win. I still haven't got one. And yeah.
Well, you got a pole. Yeah, I was about to say you got a pole position, Liam. Basically, you've got something I don't have, and I've got something that you don't have. So if we combine that, then we will be a good driver.
Together forever.
Yeah. To be honest, I know Liam's too modest to say it, but Liam is due for a win at some point in a league. He always had it in Silverstone, to be fair, but it got taken away because I was about to say a different word, but someone took him off.
About to say some bull poo. It sounded like.
We got 10 seconds. Everyone followed the ready up command this time. So that's good. But we are about to get underway. So it's been actually over 3 minutes, but...
Well, let's go then. Formation that on. It would seem apparently that Slender Man isn't here, so he's going to be stuck on the grid temporarily. So, slight issue right there for poor Slendy.
He's going to get disqualified.
He will, but hopefully he gets back in time. But it shouldn't matter. Well, he's got disqualified, but he'll get back in time. He'll probably come back and go, oh, what's happened to me? And, goes Knighton. Well, there we go then. It's happened immediately.
That's in the formation lap, ladies and gentlemen.
In the formation lap. He's already dropped it. Was that pre-planned?
Thank goodness formation lap is on, because otherwise Pete would have been in the spot of bother.
Pete might murder me now.
You seem to curse a lot of Alpines. You did it in LOE. You did it in VSL a couple of weeks ago. You just don't like Alpines, Liam.
Oh, he's dropped it again. Oh, no. Oh, what have I done to him? Oh, this is going to end well for the poor man. Pete Knighton having a bit of an issue right now, it seems, Len. So, it's all going to plan, says Cameron. Yes, it is all going very to plan. The L plan has worked well. Hopefully he doesn't drop it in the race like that, but he might have a dry setup. I hope not. But, yeah, that's ominous.
It is intermediate tyres, I believe. Yeah, it is inters. And, well, if he drops it in the sprint, he's not going to have a good start to the actual race later on, is he? Well, my prediction for the race... it's in Red Bull. Kieran's had a bit of an off in the hanger straight. But my prediction is there were similar conditions in Austria last week towards the end, and a certain someone did well there too, and that's Casper, with a broken pedal. Brake pedal, ladies and gentlemen, and he still goes out and wins races. So, yes, I think Casper's going to win this sprint race, and he's going to start the 50% from pole position, and saying that he may spin and go into a wall. So not going to say anything more. Let us know your predictions in the chat. That will be absolutely lovely, and we will keep you up to date on that very, very shortly. Oh, Casper, he's in the gravel.
Yeah, they're all struggling a little bit right now. It's very tricky conditions, but up front then, it is Pete Knighton getting himself back on pole position. Spun twice in the formation lap, and he's been disqualified for good measure.
And Charlie has as well.
And Charlie, Cam as well. Slenderman is out. Last car on the grid of J. Luke then, but ahead of us, 5 red lights then for the British Grand Prix. Look, but never stare, because in Silverstone we're underway. It looks like Knighton's got a very good launch then. Straight away, 1-2 car, and Cam's been disqualified for reversing off the start line, but through into turn number 1 is Cam. 1 car off in the background. There's one of the Red Bulls, and something's going on there.
Desync. That's desync.
Desync has occurred, but luckily it's only just invisible for the poor lucky fellows there from them, so I think they've all gone away with it just about there. But Pete, they're struggling around in the rear end, lost 2 positions, lost a 3rd then, so he's had a torrid time at the start of this race. Meanwhile, Finley's dropped it down the back of the field then on the grass. Foxy Red picking up a penalty in the meantime. There's a lot of incidents at the start of this British Grand Prix. Crucially though, Casper's got away well then from Timo, then comes Foxy, then comes Mr. Knighton, who's fortunate this time, kept it going in a straight line, unlike the last 2 times, which he swapped the rear end around.
Back.
Yeah, Slenderman's back, has got a penalty I think there, as Honey goes down a position there behind Jigs, but up we come then, down into Cop's corner. Is everyone going to get it through cleanly this time around? It seems so easy to drop it. The top 2, 3, 4 have, apart from Knighton, who has immediately dropped it. And that rotten luck of form for Knighton carries on, as well as Matt has dropped down 1 or 2 positions, and Knighton's going to be getting well out of the way of these guys as they fly through. So a mistake there for Knighton, pole position to last. Up the front here is Timo, looking on the back of Casper. Remember these 2 sparring partners from last season, of course. Had so much close battles in Canada. Let's see then. Is Casper and Timo going to go battle? Inside line opportunity then for Timo. Down the inside he goes. Is Casper going to give him the room? The answer is no. Better contact there. Right rear to front left. But nonetheless, they just about get away with that one.
Yeah, they do, and it's nice to see them 2 battling in the top 2 positions once again, because both of them came extremely close at both points in the season. Don't forget, Timo joined as reserve. At the start, he was leading the championship at one point. Quite a few times in the season, Casper brought it back, and Foxy Red scored time penalty.
That's Foxy Red going off the road. They lost the rear end, Jez, and these are really tricky conditions here. We're on lap 2 of 9, another car dropping it around. There's Hayden dropping it then. These are pulling conditions. It might just be a little bit too wet for the intermediates, but it's too dry for the wet tyres. I'm surprised no one's decided to try to take the gamble on the wets, but quite a lot of them spinning. Flexi and Slenderman in 3rd and 4th, so the 2 Mercedes there together, the closest pairing in terms of team pairs so far, at least with the other Alpine of Matters going in a straight line this afternoon, Jess. I mean,
well, you said it now.
Actually, to be fair, all things considered, Matters actually had a pretty decent season. Hasn't really made too many historic mistakes, and as long as he doesn't right now, he's on for good points. Meanwhile, talking of mistakes, Foxy Red a little bit wide there into Cop's corner as he comes down into Maggots, then into Beckett, into Chapel, and straight away after the, well, really it's the left-hander, which is Chapel. That's Beckett, this is Chapel. The first whole couple of sections is Maggots. But down the, almost at the Camel Straight then. It's not the Camel Straight, it's the Hanger Straight. Hanger, camels, hangers. Right, meanwhile, Matter right on the back. Up front though, it is Casper leading from Timo. 7 tenths, then 2 seconds back to Slender. Then 7 tenths back to Lee's gaggle of cars. Then for Flexi, Foxy, Matter, Tony. Then comes Jinx not too far behind. Casper, first up of this race, 39.6. As we look at meanwhile, Tony, not too far behind, looking for a potential move, but like I said, in the wet, Jess, it is very easy to make a mistake.
Yes, I found out on this game around Silverstone. I'm not good in the wet around Silverstone, to be fair, as we've got Tony side by side with Matter there, up to P6 for now. And he's looking very good in the wet, isn't he, around Silverstone? Wet is his thing around this track, as he's got some decent pace. He's now barely used any ERS. So he's going to use it on the back straight, on the Wellington straight. That's the Brooklyn sign you can see on the right-hand side as you head into this corner. As Foxy Red has gone a bit wide. Is Tony going to try and go for a lunge up the inside, potentially? It's going to be very close indeed in order for him to do it, but he stays behind for now he doesn't want to get involved in a little bit more mischief. As the top two, they're breaking away from the rest of the pack. Slenderman is nowhere near the top two right now, but don't forget DRS is disabled in the wet conditions, so they won't be relying on DRS, they'll be relying on Slipstream and trying to get past as close as they can. Up next for Tony is Foxy Red then, and the next overtaking opportunity can be towards Stowe Corner. McLaren versus the Williams, two British teams. There are so many British teams on the grid today, so many British drivers all want to do well as Foxy Red covers to the right a little bit through Stowe Corner. Tony has got to chuck it through the outside of him to get the move done, which he tries to do as we head towards Rail Corner now. And oh, it's very, very close indeed again. But Foxy Red just had a better exit in the final corner. Tony's lost 2 positions actually, as Matter has got past him as well. So Matter was just waiting for those two to make a mistake, and look at that. Matter is up to 6th place now, and he's now going to try and see what he could do with Foxy Red. As another time penalty is another driver. Oh, Foxy Red had to think twice about whether to go left or right there, didn't he?
Yeah, it's so easy to make a mistake of him. Meanwhile, talking of mistakes, Larry's Jinx and Charlie Harris coming to blows there in Aintree Corner. And contact between those two, a little bit of a clumsy manoeuvre as Jinx again for the second time has had that mistake there through the actual part of Aintree. They're losing their rear end, just can't get it together. Meanwhile, Matt on the back of Foxy, and let's see which way is he going to go. He's got a Williams bumming the inside of him there if he's not too careful. He's putting them through. It's almost like the French in an English sandwich right now. It's almost like it's almost interesting. Well, to be fair, I say that, we've got one team from New Zealand, the other one's very much now technically Canadian, but the other one's also English as well because it is, of course, Enstone. All of them based in Britain, though, of course. Woking, Enstone, and then, of course, Grove.
Apart from Alfa Romeo.
Which is in Geneva, I believe.
And Ferrari.
And AlphaTauri.
And AlphaTauri. And Haas. Good point. Here comes Matter on the move on Foxy Red. He's going to the left-hand side then of Stowe. Oh, they touch. Oh, God, guys, that's allowed Tony to get back both of them. But Matter this time gets him. Oh,
two McLarens coming together as well, Jess. It's all getting a bit messy. J-Luke up the inside of Foxy. Foxy a little bit frustrated. Through goes Kai. But he's cut off again. Foxy, who's a little bit frustrated right now, he's all in his right to turn in there. And here's Finley going up the inside. This isn't going to work, boys. Be careful. Finley up the inside. A bit twitchy then for one of the other cars up the road. Up the inside goes the AlphaTauri. The McLaren holds the outside line. Is the Rebel thinking of a move up the inside? Certainly not. That's 3 becomes 7 in a second of a corner. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, some case 6 of them. But nonetheless, it's almost 7. But up they come then. Through Aintree, down on the Wellington Straight. And it's almost going to be 3 abreast potentially. And he's Charlie Harris going to think about a manoeuvre. No, he's not. Meanwhile, Kieran trying to go and make dicey work of Foxy then. Which way is he able to go? Can't go anywhere quite. That incredible battling here at Silverstone then. We are currently at the end of lap 5, coming into the middle of lap 5 right now, as here we see Kieran up the inside into Cobb's corner. That's not going to work. They touch then the Red Bull and the McLaren. Off goes Kieran. Has Foxy kept in a straight line? Yes, he has, but contact at the fastest part of the circuit, and Kieran there, rightfully, I'd imagine, going to be a bit frustrated. Have the inside completely alongside him, and it just looked like Foxy just turned in across there as well. So Kieran, very fortunate, he managed to keep that going in a straight line. That could have been a massive accident for the poor old man. As here comes Charlie Harris then round the outside into Stowe. We've seen one car go wide for him and not make the manoeuvre. Let's see another one then. Let's see. Exit of the corner as J-Luke gives him the space up the inside. Then will come Charlie Harris. Lunges one up the inside. Late braking. Perfectly stopped. Is J-Luke able to do anything on the exit? Not quite then. So has to sit it back. Has yellow flags. And there is Nathan out of this race. And the commiserations and the safety car now deployed on lap 6. And there's going to be a little bit of debrief, I imagine, for Knighton to me after this race.
That was just before the pit lane.
Yeah, it was. It's out of Stowe, so he's dropped it early through there.
Yeah, it looks like on the track map where he's gone. So, well, it's going to be a 2-lap sprint to the end. I've never seen it as well. Sprint race, to be fair, where it came out this late. We had it in another league in a sprint race, but it came out, I think, lap 3, lap 4. So that is very, very weird. And there's overtaking positions in the safety car. Ewan has joined for the 50% race. That's good news. So you'll be starting at the back of the grid. Has, J-Luke, 5-second penalty, illegal overtake. Did he overtake under safety car though?
Charlie Harris.
Oh, the Delta glitch.
Oh dear.
Delta glitch.
My favourite friend's back. Now everyone's got to try and figure out what position they're in.
This is the only track where I usually have the Delta glitch. I don't have it in any other track. I always tend to slow down around Silverstone too much. So it may just be the track itself in general. I don't know. But it's usually around here. I just don't get it. Hopefully they'll patch it soon. There's no point in you pitting. There's no... Charlie Harris, he's in 7th right now.
Up very quickly there. And oh, wow. What on earth was that about their contact? Charlie Harris and Jay Luke coming to play. I didn't
see that because I was on board.
What on earth was that? I have no idea. Charlie Harris slamming on the brakes there. Something. I don't know if he meant to do that or something's gone on. But into the back of Jay Luke there. Absolutely monumental damage to the front right end plate. Kieran in the pit then. Jay Luke ignoring the yellow flag. So,
oh, God.
Something is going on right here. There's something. Kieran's not happy with someone. But,
he's saying he's annoyed about a McLaren. He's not going to tell me which McLaren it is, but he's annoyed with a McLaren. More time penalties are given to the drivers. Oh my goodness. Could they... What's the thing with sprint races, Liam, is that's where the most carnage happens. All the sprint race weekend always done that.
Yeah, 15 seconds for Jay Luke right now. And of course, that will not be removed likely. It might, if they could take it to the stewards, it very much might be, but
as long as they show their race director, that is the new thing now. If they don't show their race directors, if you're watching the stream back, by the way, it's important. If you don't show your race directors, it won't be looked at and it won't get removed. So if I were you, no point sending it to the stewards if you don't have race directors.
Safety car in this lap then, so Kieran's been screwed here. Absolutely screwed in this race then by the safety car. It's coming now because we've run out of time. So Casper's going to have to back them up as much as he can and just slow. Well, I think that's what he's doing. Look at, he's holding them all back right now, trying that Kieran catch as much as he can, and this is working. This is kind of working wonders. Kieran gets a penalty. He is pushing the car to its absolute limit, and he will wait. Casper will wait until Kieran will catch up, and which he does do. So Casper helping his teammate there. He didn't have to do it, but sportsmanship between the two cars, and Ruddy can go pretty much now if he wants to and get away with it. In fact, he is gone then right now. Kieran will have nice, fresh, warm tyres to go push straight away then. So we are back racing then. That's 7 of 9. And it's Casper leading the way then from Team A. Then comes Slender and Flexi. Behind them, Tony. Matter. Then comes Charlie Harris ahead of Jay Luke, who presumably he's going to be getting out of the way of his teammate Foxy Red. It's not going to matter too much because there's a bit of contact there.
Jinx.
Yeah, Jinx a little bit wide up the inside. Is going to potentially come the Aston Martin. Jinx off the road there. Is up the inside goes the Aston Martin into the loop. And he gets the job done.
Contact.
Slightly bit of contact. Locked up there. Through goes Kieran and letting him back through his aid. And then realised his mistake. Locked up. Couldn't get it stopped. And straight to the side of him. But up front, Casper leads. Timo second. Then comes Slender. Then comes Flexi. Tony behind. Then comes Charlie Harris. He's now got the Alpine there of Matter behind him. Matt there, I think, dropping down a position behind Charlie Harris. Jay Luke then further down. We've got Hayden off the road as he's had an incident there potentially with Jinx, or something's happened certainly there. Jinx throttling it down the straight, and he's got back going up to full throttle right now. But a kinetic sprint afternoon, Jess, already carnage and controversy. We don't like seeing it, as meanwhile Foxy and Jay Luke do finally switch around there as both of them go eating off the road in their own respective way. Jay Luke's got that front right end plate completely gone, but behind them, there's Finley up the inside potentially, or trying to.
Finley looks like he's going to get J-Leap right off at the moment. Is he going to? Oh, I think this could be tight as the McLaren goes off the road. To the right, into Vale, into Club. He cuts him on around the outside. And I think Finley just about has J-Leap. No, J-Leap's going to fight back.
He's going to run to steer off the road, Jess, because he's got that damage. So turn one's going to be very difficult for the McLaren driver then. Rear Abbey he comes. Can he keep it within track limit? He does, but this is going to be the awkward situation. Watch out for Kieran, then it's going to sweep around the outside if he can. But a bit of contact there, maybe up the inside. Here comes Kieran trying to take that last position. J-Luke there trying to battle. It doesn't need to battle too heavily. But Kieran trying to go around the outside. That's not going to quite work. Sit back, relax. Now you try and get your opportunities because, of course, that McLaren, a limping dog's biscuit right now, is up the inside. Presumably he's going to go Kieran, and I think J-Luke probably realises that more than anything right now. That battle is over unless he wants to try and lunge right up the inside into the next corner, which he certainly doesn't. Timo Loeb down in second position, 1.6 seconds, 1.7 seconds. Casper pushing track limits ever so slightly as he comes through Copse Corner, but looks like he's got the British Grand Prix sprint race done and dusted. 9 laps of action, of course, ahead of the 26, I believe it is, ahead of us for the main feature race. But Purple Sector 2, he's pushing on harder as Casper. He's got that gap up. If this race is going to be like this in the main race, you've got to put the question on Casper potentially winning. If it's right, who knows exactly what it could be. But through the last 2 corners, is Charlie Harris there is someone's off the road. Who's that? Tony off the road. Down into Copse. He's not beast. I think he's going to get the engine running, but he's down there. Meanwhile, here comes Casper. Wins the sprint race then. Fastest lap on the final lap. Timo in second. Slender from Flexi. Charlie Harris cross the line in provisional P5. Matter in 6th. Foxy is behind Finley. J-Luke's going to be there. Kieran's down in 12th. And Tony might maybe jump up 1 or 2 positions. I think he's actually just cruising to the line right now. And gonna cross it slowly.
There he goes in 11th. Okay. So, I believe the top 8 score points, and Casper does get the fast lap point as well. So that is good news if you're Casper. No podium, because obviously it's the sprint race. So, here are your grid for the 50% race, which will be happening in a moment. Hopefully it's dry there. Casper from Timo, there your row 1. In row 2 is Slenderman and Flexi. In row 3, Charlie Harris and Matter. In row 4 is Finley and Foxy Red. In row 5 is Jinx and Hayden. In row 6, Tony and J-Luke. In row 7 is Kieran and Knighton. And on his own is in the last row will be Cam and Ewan. So there we go. We only had a few DNF, which was Pete and Cam. Obviously, Cam did it on purpose because, well, he wants to start every race from last place. So, yeah, that was why he did that. And he wanted to do it in a fair way possible. So, yeah, that's your order. There's some big names down the bottom there that I was expecting to do well, but just couldn't quite do it today. Maybe they were struggling in the wet. And Liam,
my apologies. I was eating a digestive biscuit.
Oh, lovely. Those are my favourite things. My favourite things ever. So, the countdown is drawing near, and there will be another 2-minute break whilst the driver's ready up for the 50% race. Whilst we do that, I'll see if the standings have been updated on the spreadsheet. If Google decides to behave itself. It has updated. There we go. So, before tonight, Kieran is leading the way on 87 points. I need to zoom out. Come on. Zoom out. There we go. Flexi in second on 75. Matter third on 74. Casper fourth on 69. Cam in fifth on 51. Scott Boner obviously doesn't race with us anymore on 50. Slenderman on 46, Shane on 36, Charlie Harris on 35, Jinx on 34, J-Luke on 29, Finley on 26 with Tony as well. Timo on 25, TL44 on 18, Foxy Red on 17, Hayden Rogers on 12, Ewan on 8, Knighton on 7, Yarham on 6, AFC on 2, and Dara, wow. Dara has not showed up to the past few races. He's done a no-show. So, yeah. So I think he's going to get a big penalty coming his way. Because no-showing is not good at VSL. But, good news, Liam. It is nice and sunny at the moment here at Silverstone. So, the gods have decided to cheer everybody up and have nice sunshine for the race. So, talking of strategies, well, it is quite an easy one. It's either hard to medium or medium to hard. It depends if you want to go long at the start or go short at the start. Safety cars could be a possibility around here. But you don't really want to be touching the softs around here because they only last about 7 laps.
Yep, a completely dry race ahead of the drivers, Jess, so that's always going to be good, isn't it?
It is. So, we are just waiting for, obviously, the drivers to get their setups ready again and get their strategy sorted as well, their fuel as well. You don't want to underfuel and you don't want to overfuel as well. So, yeah, and it looks like it's going to be no changeable conditions for today's race. So 26 laps ahead of the drivers. After lap 5, by the way, the hards could go to the end of the Grand Prix. Tyre wear is not as hard around it as previous tracks. So after lap 5 or 6, you can get to the end on the hard tyres. So if you have a poor race, you could just put some hards on and they can get to the end perfectly.
Yeah, hard tyres are very durable tyre around here. A very good race tyre as well. The mediums and the hards, as per usual on this game, compared to the softs, are actually the ideal tyre. I expected quite a lot of them start on the mediums out of the hards. You might see a few on the soft at the start and further down the field try and get up a few positions and then go on that set of hards all the way to the end. You can do a soft to medium strategy as well, but you'll be stretching those soft tyres a fair few laps to around about lap 9, and then you go on the mediums the last couple 15 odd laps, and then you might just get to the end of that race. Hard size, the more durable, like I said, the medium hard. You could go for a 2-stop soft, medium, hard if we do get a safety car, and that's presumably what they'll be doing, as we are now ready to go.
Good
here
job.
For the second time this afternoon, no ready up. Wow.
So the only readied up was one-shot qualifying. Everyone else was good boys. Everyone else was good boys in just for the formation lap in both races.
Boys.
So well done. I don't know how they're going to find who readied up in one-shot qualifying, but yes.
Guilty until proven innocent. Everyone gets penalties until they.
Well, it's not going to make that much difference, though. But anyway,
might not, but we are underway then here for the second time. Then under the formation that we go, and it is going to be. Yeah, see then tyre graphic. What we got then for all the drivers? Where is it? Tyres. So top 3 have got a hard on. 4th and 5th have got a medium on. A double hard then for Matter and Finley. Then we've got mediums for Foxy. Jinx has got a hard on. Aiden's gone a bit soft. Then we've got the mediums on for Tony. And then we've got hards on for J-Luke. Medium for Knighton. And Cam, of course, has got that hard on as well. And doing some drifts on his hard. Warm rubbery tyres. As a big boy you're on then. And Uran, good friend of mine. Good old known him from other leagues as well. He's a lovely bloke. So,
I believe he's full-time now.
I think he is as well, yeah. So it's going to be crucial to see what he can do. A lovely person. Hopefully, from historical reasons, he's not normally had much luck when I commentate. So
he's done. To be fair, he's done all right this season. To be honest.
Yeah, well, I mean, he did have a bit of a moment last time I saw him. So
but round number 5, he scored 8 points. Forgot what round 5 was.
Neither.
Round 5 was France.
Aha! Bon voyage.
Yeah. So there we go. So that was, I think, 8th place. Yeah, 8th place he scored in that race, if my math is correct.
Yeah, crucially, Jessler, crucially for Big Boy Duran, if he is
Ewan.
in the UK, you do not have to buy a ticket for a snail. That's correct. I mean, mainly because the UK trains go like a snail.
That is
if
true.
You know,
What about cats?
Probably. I don't know. I don't know if you have to pay. You might have to pay to get a cat on a train.
I know you have to reserve. I know you have to reserve a bike on the train.
Yes, but a cat is not a bike, Jess.
I know.
So Jessica here saying a cat is a bike. You heard it for here first. 2022. Cat is bike. Timo doing 360 degrees. Oh, come on, guys. Don't have some fun like that. We're just doing donuts. Good. I mean, they might get in trouble for that.
I got my prediction right for Casper winning the sprint race.
Yep. Start line infringement ? For the top two there for doing donuts. But
I don't think they were meant to do
Timo
donuts.
in second, Slender in third. Well, they knew what they were doing. Then comes Flexi in fourth. But let's see in a few seconds' time, the last car on the grid, and we'll be getting ready to go. Then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights. And it's going to be go here in Silverstone, and it's a good start this time for the Mercedes. Then look, here is Slenderman there. Gets a flyer at the start of this race on the hard side. Into turn 1, the other Mercedes, the two Mercedes lead 1 and 2 then. At the beginning here of the British Grand Prix up the inside there, Charlie Harris there. Getting his elbows out, down into 5th position there, and making contact, more contact there. As Casper sent sideways through the corner. He's got away with it just about, but there was definitely more than one bump on the rear and the front. Definite damage there. Hayden up into 8th position then. He's making a move then. Past Finley then. Up there is past Tony's up the inside. Comes Tony on Hayden as well. So those two squabbling around here at Silverstone. But crucially, Slenderman leads them. Flexi in second. The two Mercedes, which have had rather rotten luck in the last couple of races. Doing well. Meanwhile, up the inside into Cop's Corner. Here comes Hayden on Tony this time. Like we saw last time, they give each other enough space. As Foxy Low decides against giving enough space. There is alongside him. Slightly squeezed him onto the grass. So a bit of aggressive driving there from Foxy. But I think you just about got away with it. As here comes Tony then to go to the outside line then. Maybe braking potentially, but a bit of contact again is Foxy covers the line off, and then wow, there's contact, and he keeps it going in a straight line. Foxy's got to be careful here. Foxy's got to be really careful here. He doesn't keep making these little injuries. He's done it a few times in the sprint. Doesn't want to keep doing it. Further down, who's that? Was that an Alpine? Matter. That's Matter in P down last and second to last. Jess, you know what I mentioned earlier about Alpines? Yes, it's not gone well still. Meanwhile, who's that? Is that Hayden off the road? It is Hayden off the road, down into Abby. And he's the driver then on the soft compound tyres that has dropped it. And whatever's happened to him, might have got on the curb, might have had contact. He was very close to a few cars.
Charlie Harris on Timo. He's going to go for the move on to Brooklyn. Sorry to cut you, but Charlie Harris on for the podium. And wow. That was a save from Charlie Harris. I respect that. That was Tokyo Drift right there from Charlie Harris. If I did that, I would have spun and ended up in the gravel trap. So Charlie Harris, you get a gold star from me there. Good save. So well done. He's got a defend from Timo now, which is easy said than done. The top two are pulling away, by the way. That's how good they are at the moment. Sanderman's doing a great job on those hard tyres. So is Timo as well. Casper's had a poor start. Down 5 positions. Obviously, he started from pole position. Position changes. Jay Lukoff. He's now lost another position. As Foxy Red and Kieran side by side. Williams has gone off. That's Tony. So he's dropped another position. Matt has gained the least position. He's dropped 6. So there we go. So is Hayden as well. Knighton is in then. So is he gonna? He's gonna come in for some hards, which realistically should get to the end. I wasn't expecting him to do so. Jadic is in as well. So they come in to the pit lane. The Flexi's clawed back a bit of time onto Enderman. So DRS enabled. He's got DRS. Oh, will they use playing the teamwork to their advantage? It worked well in, what was it? I can't remember which race it was. Bahrain, yes, where it was a 1-2 in Bahrain. Can we see a 1-2 here today?
Yeah, well, we certainly could do. Charlie Harris, though, on the attack. Meanwhile, Jinx, they're trying to get past Foxy Red, and we've seen these two come together more than one occasion this afternoon's race. They blast themselves down towards Cop's corner, and I wouldn't be going up the inside there right now. I'd probably be a bit circumspect about trying to pass him, try and get the job done potentially on the outside line, but again, you want to be careful. Foxy, they're giving the space this time around, and his best opportunity going to be down then potentially into the Stoke corner, but Foxy there, a little bit of a break into the middle of Chapel, doing DRS, low left-hand side of the circuit. Should be a relatively easy manoeuvre, as off has gone the car there. That is Aiden off the road, is now Foxy Red down into 8th position, up into 7th. Goes Jinx after those two squabbles earlier on this afternoon, but we'll see if those two can continue their action, as well, Raiden's got some damage, or something's gone on for Aiden, because he can't get in the straight line. And front though, Charlie Harris now.
through Beckett.
Yeah, he's warmed the tyres too much. Charlie Harris, fastest lap of this race, chasing these guys down. Timo and Casper stuck together, ahead of behind them. Kieran, who's had a very strong start this afternoon's race from where he was. He's up, I think, well, how many positions he's up this up right now? Up 7 from the start of this race. Up 6 and 6 for Cam and Big Boy Duran then. Capitalising all of the others, they've all dropped 4, 6, 2 as Timo there and Casper start to squabble more and more there. I think Timo actually just got behind then. I think those two have swapped positions. Yes, they have. So those two swapping positions for now. I'm starting to think just potentially these two have gone for the wet start, because they just do not have the pace they had earlier on.
It looks like it, doesn't it? Maybe they didn't check what the weather was going to be like in this main race, and usually I tend to compromise the sprint race setup for the full race setup, because that is where you gain the most points in the full race. So probably a little bit of a mistake, but maybe they go for the wet setup just to qualify well. But the people who were 1st and 2nd are now 4th and 5th, and the ones that were 4th and 5th were 1st and 2nd. So they kind of switched positions in a way, haven't they? In terms of places, but still a long way to go as they continue fighting and fighting until, well, this race is over, of course, as Ewan is having a... Well, don't forget, he didn't race in the sprint race, and he's having a cracker. So is Cam as well, up 7 positions. Kieran as well has had a good race, and maybe Kieran opted for a dry setup in the sprint race. So that's why he struggled a little bit. Same with, well, not Cam, because he purposely decided not to take part in the sprint race. There's yellow flag, that is Foxy Red.
Yeah, Foxy Red struggling then. He's got some issues on the car, whatever's going on for him. It's not worked. He's now contact with Tony, as Tony there.
Foxy Red has got involved in way too many incidents. Foxy, don't do that.
Turned in a little bit too harsh there. A yellow flag further down the field. I think that might be for Aiden.
Yeah, that is
Aiden. The outside line. He's not going to give room there, is he? Well, there's contact. Round goes Tony. And unsurprisingly, I'm afraid Foxy's going to have to take the blame on that one there. He was entitled to room. He wasn't given room. Was forced off the road, then just didn't give him any room. Tony, maybe he could have backed out of it. Aiden's left the session. And,
he's retired in the pit lane.
Yeah, retired in the pit lane, but I think we might see an investigation later on that one. Meanwhile, Charlie Harris in 3rd position, closing up on the back of Flex. Here's a yellow flag.
That is Hayden's AI. That is Hayden's AI.
So, no major issues there. We got 1 retirement from this afternoon's race. Knighton really is out of this race. He's needing a safety car. He's got J-Luke not too far behind him as they come through turn number 1 and 2. Flexy's struggling, it looks like, a little bit right now, especially compared to that one. Luckily, that is just a ghosted car, because I have had incidents before where the AI is not ghosted, and then it causes major incidents.
Yeah, I've had issues with that as well, and that took me out of the race at one point. I was there a few years ago, though, 2-3 years ago. I think it was 2019, I think it was. Can't believe that's 3 years ago already. That is...
Time flies.
Yeah, time flies when you're having fun and doing... league racing on the evening. But anyway, Kieran, he's looking to gain an 8th position on Timo then. He wants to get 5th place, and Kieran hopefully is going to show us how you take the move into Cop's corner. Nope, he's not. He's backed off. Fair play to them. If there's not much space, you don't go for it. Both Kieran and Timo are catching up to Casper then. So in that train with Jinx as well, not that far behind. So Jinx could take advantage. We'll see what Jinx could do. I think he's a little bit too further back, Kieran. I found that last week when I was in a DRS train around Spain, where it was the first time I was in a proper DRS train, and it went on for ages. You just couldn't overtake, no matter how hard you try. Even if the car behind you was in front of you was slower, you just couldn't get past. So you just got to think tactically in terms of pit stop, because I think that's the only thing that would advantage you more than your rivals here today. And that's why not many people are making moves. A lot of people are saving battery, don't forget, as well, because around this track, if you use up too much battery earlier, you're going to be in a bit of bother.
Yeah, he certainly are. Slenderman up front is just kind of helping his teammate, dragging along right now. Leads to have saved a lot of the ARS. So is Charlie Harris. A little bit wide into Brooklands. Further down the field, you've got Tony and Foxy squabbling away there. I think Foxy's finally conceded that position to Tony, who's got through right there. I think potentially as Foxy's got some damage of some description further down, but definitely looks like he's understeering the car a lot more than he would otherwise do. But further down though, Knighton in 14th, J. Luke in 15th, so the McLaren's not having a good time, but it's the German team up front ahead of the American-Italian comrades of Haas in 3rd.
There we go, Casper in 4th. Oh, Charlie Harris. This could be the send he's looking for. Nope, he doesn't go for it.
He's too far back with the DRS. He just can't make a move. If he wants to make a move, Jess, he's going to have to do it in an unorthodox place. He needs to be about 1/10 behind. Really get a good exit on one of these corners to lunge it. You've got the opportunity down into the loop section. But again, you've got to be brave and you've got to be careful, because you don't want to end up having your car swiped across. It's easy to do down into that corner, and of course then you get the opportunity to come back if you do it too early and too far back through there in DRS. But he's, like we said just earlier on, in a DRS chain right now. We'll see action later on as people start to stop and squabble around, and Casper trying to pull away from Timo. He's got that gap up to 8/10, and if he can pull that gap another 10th or two, that's going to help his teammate absolutely treat the Red Bull, the Ferrari, the Red Bull. Then guess what? It's the Ferrari then. So those two teams together completely, but up front it is Mercedes, quite characteristically of the former generation of pre-2022, seeing them up front, and there's just a Haas there for the fun in 3rd, like real life where it's never in 3rd.
It was 5th in Bahrain, don't forget.
Yes, and that was probably about as good as it got.
Yeah, I was gutted because I thought, oh yeah, he has to do well this season, and then after that it went,
It just doesn't seem like the upgrades have gone their way. Meanwhile, Charlie Harris has got a good exit this time around then.
Yep,
Let's see, he's going to burn some ERS. Let's see which way he's going to go. He's going to force Flex to the inside line. As long as they don't make contact, this will all be good then. And they do touch then, slightly on the exit of the corner. And they do touch again and again on the exit. Let's see, late braking for the pair of them. One of them's going to have to back up. There's going to be contact. Otherwise, they just about get through on the exit. Flexi slightly backs out of it, like lifts off nose right now to find another day. Charlie Harris then up into 2nd. Meanwhile, Big Boy Duran there has got a pit lane speed limit penalty. He's up the inside, comes Jinx on Kieran. Up the inside into Rabbi, both of them running a little bit wide. Kieran running wide to give him a space there. Up the inside goes Jinx. Kieran have the outside line, backs out of it. I think he should theoretically get DRS back off of him if he's lucky and done it well. Well, if he doesn't do that at least. So never mind, he might get DRS, but he's not going to man a Jack Donkey right now because he's dropped a few temps behind, almost a 2nd out of the DRS. And Slender now leads his championship comrade, his friend, his brother-in-arms, down there into 3rd position. Charlie Harris picks up a, Big Boy Duran picks up a penalty and off. That is Big Boy Duran out of the pit lane, so he dropped it on cold tyres.
Hopefully no damage, maybe. Hard to tell. Really hard to tell. But I think he got away with that.
Yeah, he might have got away with it. Easy thing to do, of course, cold tyres. And that really just shows you how cold these cold tyres are. They take a couple of laps to warm up to temperature, but as soon as they do, they very much do warm up to temperature. J-Luke will be behind trying to chase down, but Slender, then comes Charlie, then comes Flexi. And behind them, of course, we've got the likes of Casper, Timo, and Jinx now together. In comes Kieran for a set of hard compound tyres at the end of this race. And yeah, well, that'll help him. We've got 16, 17 laps to go as Matala getting up now into 8th position for 4th in the championship. It's not been a good afternoon for the Alpines.
Nope, it's not, but at least Mata is making the best of a bad situation, and that is not too bad. And sometimes you got to have the bad results but still get the good points to do well in the championship overall, because you can't have good races all the time, and sometimes you have to just pick your losses sometimes. And well, I think 8th place won't be too bad, but I'm sure he'll be using his motivation to score even higher as well. So help me get the tyres up.
Charlie Harris is starting to pull this, starting to drop back a little bit then from Slenderman. Slenderman started to up his pace now, so was he just trying to help Flexi earlier on with the DRS, just trying to drag him along then so he can stay ahead of the cars behind? Well, it certainly worked from that little gaggle. He's a few seconds behind them, and that's the Casper about 2 seconds off, but Slender upping his pace right now. Hasn't won a race this season, I believe, as Charlie Harris behind. Flexi as well. Not been too bad. He's been kind of roughly around there. Slender, of course, last week did really have not a good race. DNF right on the finish line, but I think still scored points. Behind him, like Charlie, he's been up and down this season. Behind him, Flexi is another one who's been quiet, but very decent, I would say. And then, of course, you got your big haters like a Casper, Timo, Jinx, Cam, Matter all behind them. And then you've got that little bit of a gap down to where Kieran is. And Kieran's been one of those drivers that have gone under the radar. And you must say, Kieran, who has stopped just a few seconds ago, going to be hoping for that undercut strategy. And of course, we know how, if you get these tyres up to temperature, how quick you can. But remember, stopping early has a caveat. If we get a safety car, which is very easy to do around Silversons, it turns out.
Very likely, Liam. Very likely.
It's very likely. Yeah, that'll all come undone. Hopefully, though, we don't get a safety car in the next 15 minutes. Or the next couple of laps. Otherwise, Kieran might be very sad. Meanwhile, Tony just comes into the pit lane. He's going to come out. Should be relatively close between him. He should be just ahead of Big Byron by a couple of seconds, I'd say. But he needs to be careful that he doesn't spin the car. Yellow flags. Now, what's that for? Phantoms, I'd say that, because I don't see anyone spinning. Unless it was Tony who spun the car slightly.
Or unless it was someone just slowing down a little bit, maybe struggling with the heat on the tyres.
I can't see it. Tony's trying to warm his tyres up there, weaving a little bit, but
so it could be Tony.
It could have been Tony who's definitely dropped it. Hopefully he didn't drop it coming out.
Casper's in! No, not Casper. Flexi is in the pits. So he's going to go on to set up the hard tyres. Surprised that Charlie Harris hasn't come in though. I wonder if Foxy Red's going to be doing the same and coming into the pits now. As in the McLaren car, which looks pretty lovely on this game, not going to lie. But Alpine are doing a lot better in real life than the McLaren, but we will see what Foxy Red could do. Is he going to come in? No, he stayed out. Is that what you would have done?
Hey, you got to kind of take what you got, then try and gamble on a safety car. Where is Foxy going to come out in terms of Flexi? Flexi's going to hope he comes out ahead of this car because he doesn't want to be stuck behind a car right now. That's the last thing he wants for this strategy. Comes out, I think, a second or two up the road then, so that's what Kieran a couple of seconds back. It looks like the undercut strategy. Not really gambled too much on Kieran. I don't think he's gained much time. He's still about... Well, to be fair, he's kind of closer than he was, about a second and a half. So, you know what, Flexi could try and get past Charlie Harris. Remember, of course, try to warm up the crucial thing in these tyres. You can see here is Foxy closing up, yellow flags.
That is an Alpine.
It's Nathan who's dropped it. Oh dear. Poor Nathan.
Well, he's had some unlucky. He's unlucky race so far, has he?
He's not had fun since earlier on in the chat where I said Pete Death. Has he? Top stays out. Charlie Harris comes in the pit lane and try and cover off Flexi, but that's the correct thing to do. Slenderman kind of can afford a lap or two to stay out right now and just let these guys potentially squabble, and if they do, if this works for Flexi, that's going to help his teammate even more. He was very close behind, about a second and a bit, so Let's see if it works. Charlie chucks it in the pit lane to the hard tyres goes on and then just wait. Out he comes then and let's see, back onto the live racetrack. But where's he going to be?
But
he was Foxy up the inside and Foxy hitting the side there. And Foxy again getting himself into squabbles there, and that's the second time he's done it with a car. I tell you what, Charlie's going to come out with a massive gap now out of this one. That's really worked there, and Flexy's probably going to be a little bit frustrated at Foxy right now.
Charlie's ahead of Flexy.
Foxy's really held Flexy up there a little bit. We're battling a little bit. But we know how these tyre warm-up is. It's really bad in these cars.
Yeah, it does take a while, I've noticed, to get the hard up the temperature around Silverstone. Here comes Foxy on. Oh, you don't want to be weaving like that, Foxy. You can't go aggressive defending like that.
That was Flexy aggressive defending.
Oh, that was Flexy. Sorry, Foxy.
I don't think it was too much of aggressive though. He kind of just moved to the inside like he was, and then moved back to the outside before the braking zone. And I think Foxy just kind of misread it there, kind of just trying to go right up behind.
That's why I probably misunderstood. Sorry, Foxy. As he's going to chase him down again. Cam is in then for a set of medium tyres.
Well, of course he's
I need to actually double check if they get to the end. I think they should.
15, well, 14 really, so that should easily be able to do that one. Meanwhile, where's all this going to come out then for the AlphaTauri? Should be around about that position, kind of roughly where see, I'm actually come ahead. He might come ahead of Flexy actually.
No. Oh, maybe. We'll see. Where's Flexy now? So Charlie House is going through Abby now. What about Flexy? Going through Abby. Cam's ahead of Flexy then. So Foxy Red did not help Flexy at all.
Yeah, they're on the medium tyres, so it is really working out right now for Cam. If he can get these tyres up to temperature, night and 5-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane to rant to his misery.
I wonder if he's going to call it a day.
I hope not.
I hope not either. Come on, Pete, just stay in the race, because it could be a safety car.
I tell you what, right now, if I'm Slenderman, I'd be stretching these tyres as long as you can. Go chuck on a set of softs right now. These hard tyres aren't working at all.
He's in.
Never mind. So, in comes Slenderman, and for a set, I don't know, to be fair, for a set of medium tyres, actually, isn't it? Then in comparison to Flexy, who I believe is on the hards. So, reverse strategy,
I think this could be interesting for the Mercedes boys. Will they be still aiming for 1 and 2? They're going to be quite close. So, Slenderman obviously had some clear air as well, which helped him a little bit. Finley is in as well, so he is covering off Slenderman.
I think he's going to be way clear, Jess, is Slenderman, actually. He's going to be really...
Yeah, he is, because Charlie House is only going through club now towards the Hamilton Straight.
Oh, Foxy off the road, is that? Foxy down into...
Kieran's got past him now and lost it.
Where's Slenderman out of this? He's way ahead.
He's going through Arena through Farm and through Arena into Village now.
Yeah, through the loop then, going up, and he's way ahead, 4 seconds now, so
that stop has helped Slenderman.
Yeah, that tyre warm-up, they're atrocious on these cars. Cam right now is in a net P3, I believe, in this afternoon.
Yep, he is.
But we don't know that for certain. We don't know that for certain, because you've got Casper, Timo, and Jinx, these guys all on the hards. They can stretch it a few more laps if they want, and then try and go for a set of softs if they really wish to. Now, if they can stretch it to lap 17, 18, you could definitely try to go on the set of softs. But knowing my luck, they're all probably going to come in the pit lane this lap now, aren't they? There goes one. Timo thought about it, stays out, and in comes Jinx just to ruin my afternoon of potential then. So Timo's the only one. Yes, and Casper is in the pit, like I said as well. So those two in to ruin my theory of revolution. In comes Matt to continue to ruin it. Slender leads this race, but tell you what, look at Cam right now, right closing up on the back of Charlie Harris. You know what, I'd be quite curious to see where Timo and Casper's going to come out in this one, all things considered. They should come out behind Slender, because they're just coming through the last corner right now. They're saying this again, Jess. They might be pretty close down in towards someone. They should come out actually in between them and Charlie Harris. It's going to be close down into turn number 1 then. Let's see out the pit lane they come. The Ferrari's going to come out just behind, but the Red Bull of Casper is going to crucially come out ahead of them. So that's worked wonders there. So the hard compound tyres just have not fired up this afternoon at all. And here comes Cam then.
That's why you start on them and don't pit onto them.
Yeah, here comes Cam then. Let's see the inside line. Charlie Harris is going to be sitting target right now. And up the inside comes the Alpha Tauri then. Has he got the job done? Yes, he has then. So up into 4th from last on the grid so far. He's still got 1 position potentially to gain out of this one as well. He should get ahead of Timo, if in theory. So this is really looking like a good afternoon potentially for them. But Charlie Harris has got the ERS, but his tyres, that's the crucial thing. The hard compound tyres, they are really just not biting. Because look at Flexi right now. He's way down the order.
Yes, indeed, he is. He's dropping. I thought I was expecting the hard tyres to drop off, but not as late as this. I mean, I thought they were going to warm up like 2 or 3 laps, and it's still taking a while to warm up. So, where's Timo's going to be, I think, ahead of the hard runners. So we'll see. The first hard runner is Charlie Harris, but he's in traffic. Could be in the middle of those, Timo, so we'll keep an eye on him. Timo's going up the hill now.
He's going to come out right into this gaggle of cars, I think, just
behind them.
I think he'll be
just behind them, yeah.
Just behind his teammate then.
Oh, he's got Jinx as well in front of them. So we've got 2 Ferraris.
Jinx up the inside, that's brave, that's not going to work. They're going to make contact, and Jinx is going to have to probably back out of that one there. Very aggressive driving as here comes Charlie Harris. I think he's leaving probably to say sorry. Up the inside comes Charlie Harris as he gets through. Then bit of a squeeze on the exit for good measure as these two go squabbling outside line. Let's see, can he do it this time? Is Charlie going to give him the room on the exit? Yes, he is. Just about going to give him the room on the exit, but Jinx runs himself out of room. Then down into towards Cop's corner. Which way are you going to go? Inside line or outside line? He thinks better of it. Doesn't want to go side by side through there. Casper, 3-second time penalty right now, but then you got to wait for the DRS. Then comes Jinx and think better of it. Don't try and make an audacious move. It's not going to work into these S sections here of Beckett's and Chapel. Get the DRS. Remember, the car ahead doesn't have the DRS. He's going to be a sitting target realistically. And outside line right there as he gets a job done potentially. Or is Charlie going to try and brave it on
Jinx
the brakes?
Has got it.
Yeah, he's got it around the outside. Flexi, meanwhile, driving behind Matalin. So that really proving the pudding of the hard tyres then. They're just not working this afternoon. Timo trying to get back and up and past as well. Casper, fastest lap of this race, pushing on, trying to close up that gap, but it's really slender to lose right now.
It is, and saying that, we had some issues before Evil Dragon, where we commentated on someone doing well in the race, and last lap something happened. We don't want to become complacent because it is not over until the checker flag falls. By the way, in Tier 2, there's a safety car happening right now in the same point of the race. So there we go. Touchwood, we've had no safety cars in the feature. I think we may still get one. I'm quite surprised because it's still quite common, but we'll see. For Slenderman's sake, he hopes there's going to be no safety car because at this point, softs can get to the end. So people could go onto a set of the soft tyres and it should be absolutely fine. As Cam, he's using all his battery, isn't he? He's got 5%. You lose so much power when you get below 10, so he's got to think of a move past Casper ASAP, and all this is helping Slenderman pull the gap ever so slightly. So Cam, lunging he goes through Stowe, and Casper closes the door there quite nicely. And Stowe corner is quite hard to negotiate sometimes because quite a lot of people can invalidate or get time penalties from it as well. At the moment, we don't know who's going to get the final points because of time penalties. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 drivers who have got time penalties thus far. And people don't. Finley got one just now. So that's 8. So yeah, talking of penalties, I should shut up about that, shouldn't I?
Yep, still 8. Meanwhile, is that J-Luke on the last corner dropped in somewhere?
Yeah, it is. Oh, careful.
That's a weird place.
Call your tyres, call your tyres. There we go.
It's a weird place to have dropped the car then as he gets back going, and Let's see what he can do. Meanwhile, Timo now behind as Charlie Harris's tyres have finally got up to some workable range of temperature then to carry on. But yeah, Casper's also not got a lot of ERS to battle and push either, so he's pretty low. So is Cam. These two trying to push each other to the absolute limit. Who's going to be blinking first between these two low? DRS coming up. Tell you what, though, Casper from last right now to where he is a very strong drive. If it doesn't end up going, if he ends up having a mistake, he's got to be proud of what he's done. Could become one battler on the exit of Chapel. Let's see, is he close enough? Then right-hand side. Casper probably knows right now he's not going to be too much of a bother to battle this one because he knows Cam is quick up. He knows he's got the penalty and he sees behind a penalty as well. Is off the road. Knighton. Whoa, hello. What's happened there? Off backwards, through he comes then. I think he's got damage of some descriptions on the car.
He's definitely got damage. It looks like it from the front. I think he's got front wing damage, Liam.
He might have front wing damage, but he definitely has potential rearing or sideboard or floor damage because that car shouldn't be spinning. Get to 10
yeah,
second
that
time
looks
penalty.
weird. That onboard looks weird. He's got damage.
He's got some kind of damage somewhere on the poor thing, but
Come on, Ghost. You got to get the car move slowly. Come on. Oh no, he's fine.
Yeah, he's got no damage, but it just looks like it just looks like he's got some kind of floor damage, something, because he's.
That's probably why the car was weird then, as J-Luke has got a 3 second time penalty.
Yeah, J-Luke, also another one who's having spinning
in
issues.
the wars.
Also on the hard compound tyres, might I add, over a minute behind the leader and 59 seconds behind that as well, and getting lapped almost by Foxy Red as well. So those two have unfortunately had a really torrid afternoon for Lemon. Up front though, 6 laps to go, all still looking good so far for Slender. Behind him, Cam in second position, behind Lem, the Rebel. Then comes the Ferrari pair, and I tell you what, Timo's not getting the gap right now. Charlie Harris is starting to get the bit between his teeth and starting to push on a little bit harder right now from that earlier on. But like I said, Jess, medium to hard don't seem to work. It's the hard to medium strategy around here.
Yeah, it looks like it, doesn't it? I think it's like with most tracks. I know Austria is a good track to start on hard as well. I'm trying to think what other tracks. Spain, maybe? Yeah,
5 seconds.
I think most tracks, and yeah, not that surprised to be honest, Liam. He was almost a lap down as J-Luke.
Yeah, J-Luke also another one there to spin it and having issues, so the pair of them having a torrid time then in this motor races.
Yeah, I feel sorry for him. There's more time penalties. Ewan's another one to pick another one.
Yeah, it's Cam though. Just holding on to that gap then in second. Knighton's out of this session. J-Luke might probably be coming in to join his fellow countryman in the retirement zone, I'd imagine. And yep, indeed he is then. So down to 13 runners. So remember, top 12 scores points. As long as you finish this race, really, you are going to be good. As Foxy Red is pretty much out of it so far. But as long as he carries on, gets to the end of this race.
He's still going to keep going on. Oh. So
well,
J-Luke's out.
Yeah, it's not going to matter too much for J-Luke there, so that's probably fortunate for Lem that it wasn't the other way around, wasn't it, there?
Yeah, I think Foxy Red was probably very glad it wasn't the other way around, because otherwise he would have been in a spot of bother there. But Cam's using more ERS than Casper, and Casper's using it when he needs it at the moment. Not that long to go until the end of this race. Don't forget we had the sprint race earlier on, which was won by Casper. He's not going to win this one, unfortunately, unless something horrible goes wrong, which sometimes happens, which we don't wish to happen. But he's making the best of a bad situation. As talking of bad happenings, Jinx has spun into Wellington.
Yeah, Jinx there having issues, and that Ferrari, which I said, not the first time, I said it earlier on in the sprint race, he was having troubles through there, and it's come to bite him again. Mata, ever so consistent now, and the only Alpine that seems, unfortunately, to be having some kind of luck for me this season, because the other Alpines are all just dying in every league I see, but at least one of them's doing okay.
Yes.
So far. Touch of road, as long as he doesn't go and drop it in the next few seconds.
Oh, please don't.
But Sixth position so far for him. Fifth for Timo. Fourth right now for Charlie Harris. Doing a strong job right now is Charlie, to be fair, from earlier on. Those tyres have really started to bite in, and he's coming back into this race now. Used almost all of his ERS load, just trying to keep ahead of Timo, who's pressing on, of course, on the slightly fresher, might not be slightly fresher tyres, might be slightly more worn tyres, but definitely the tyres that have got the better optimal working range. That 23 right now, the British Grand Prix. Slender up front. Then comes the two Red Bull owned teams of AlphaTauri, formerly Toro Rosso and Red Bull Racing, of course. Then comes the Haas, and then, of course, the Scuderia Ferrari. Then comes, of course, that lovely Alpine.
Renault, Lotus, Alfa Romeo.
Yes, in its disgusting livery, which I
like it. I used to hate it, but I like it.
I still don't like the pink.
I like the pink now. I've grown on it. It's really nice. I like it.
Well, that there makes one of us then.
But all yellow flag. That's an AlphaTauri, Finley.
Yeah, also another one there down at the Vale Loop section. Sorry, not the Vale Loop section.
No, that's not Vale. That's Village Loop section.
Yeah, Loop Village Aintree then. So it's Village Loop Aintree, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, like Village Loop Aintree. Yeah.
Always confusing. It's one of the ways
around. It is confusing, but I don't need to know it if I race.
Yeah, because all you need to know is it's a
corner
where I die on.
I sometimes die around that corner, but I'd look. Thank goodness I don't have to race around that track for a while. Anyway, about to start lap 24. At the moment, Slenderman has this comfortably in the bag. Cam, don't forget, after starting last, is on course for a podium. Let's check penalties though.
He's got a penalty, so I think Charlie Harris
could get second. Well, this is why I don't do maths. We let the game do the maths for us. So
yeah, he's 2 seconds back, Jess. So as long as he doesn't drop another second or two, he should get second position in this race. Then behind him, though, this is the interesting thing. Look at Timo there starting out
he's looking good on Charlie Harris then. So
yeah,
Timo could get second.
This is the thing, of course, for these two. They want to be careful they don't trip over each other too much, because these guys start battling. That gap's going to start opening up a bit more. It is setting at just over 2 seconds right now. You're only coming up to the penultimate lap of this afternoon's race. To Charlie there, a little bit on the curb, a little bit twitchy right now, but he's kind of holding on right now. Timo's made a few hints here and there he wants to try and get past, but hasn't managed to do so quite so yet. His best opportunity really is going to be probably the next lap and a bit, then if he can get a good exit and then try and burn some ERS and try and take him napping. That's going to work. He is close. But no cigar right now. Just has to sit behind and just can't get through. Finley, another 3-second time penalty. You could try up into club chicane. Again, just kind of hints, pops out and says, I'm there. Kind of just gives him, trying to get him under pressure. But Charlie not buckling quite so much. Then penultimate lap of this race. Slenderman a 4.5 second advantage then from Cam and Casper. Then comes Charlie, and then comes Timo, ever so present, ever so pushing on the rear. But not quite close enough, unless he's going to try and take a lunge here, which again, an opportunity, but audacious, and normally doesn't work on because you lose more time on the exit, and pointing that, he's lost more time on the exit as well, so it looks like Charlie might get this one. Yellow flag as a Foxy Red dropping it at turn number 1. Red.
Turn 1 seems to have caught everybody today, and he's lapped.
Yep, he's lapped by Big Boy Duran, that last car on the grid.
No, he's not lapped by Big Boy Duran. Oh, yeah. Oh, he is.
He is lapped.
He's had a horrible race.
He has.
Casper penalty.
6 seconds.
That's cost his podium then. He's not getting a podium now.
Yeah, if there's any shot right now,
he may drop down to 5th.
Should be fine then, Jez. It should be fine.
No, he'll drop to 5th. He's got 6 seconds.
Yeah, he should be ahead of 6th. I mean,
He should be ahead of Matter, but behind Charlie Harris and Timo.
If he doesn't do that, though, almost runs into the rear end of Cam then. So that's going to help him a little bit. I'll tell you what, Jess. Charlie Harris might just get onto this second position. Timo might just get that third position as well. Cam might finish fourth in this race, which will be a real shame to say, but it's going to be close. Let's see what they can do. Gap between them is it's 2.6 seconds, 2.4 seconds. I'll tell you what, Casper could play a little bit of a devil's advocate if he really wanted to help Cam a little bit there. Back up a little bit and try and hold the two behind him. I doubt he'll do that, but that gap is kind of opening a little bit right now, and these two are definitely look like they want to start squabbling. And tell you what, if Timo wants to try it, he could certainly try it.
Oh, you're not by doing that, you're not.
Yeah, that's the third time I've said something like that, and someone's dropped the rear end then, so they're keeping it on the island just about, though. So,
yeah, he saved it, though. He saved it, and it's the final part of this race, and I believe... I think Slenderman's run a race this season already. We'll have to double check, but he's going to come through, past the hanger straight, into Stowe. He's loving life. He took the lead at the start of the race, and as Murray Walker said, the late Murray Walker said, he stayed there, and after winning in round 2 and had some bad luck ever since, Slenderman goes through club now.
Yep, across the line then. Slenderman then wins the British Grand Prix. Cam will cross the line in P2, but he's not going to stay there because he's going to drop down into 4th. Then Charlie in 2nd, Timo in 3rd. Cam lower, resplendent 4th position from the back row of the grid. My driver of the day. Casper crosses the line then in 5th. Matt in 6th. Kieran crosses the line in 7th. Jinx in 8th. Flexi down in 9th. Tony in 10th. Big Boy Ewan in 11th.
And Philly gets the final point.
And then, of course, Foxy a lap down in 12th.
Oh, Ewan spun.
Well, Big Boy will get the last point then.
Yeah, Philly gets 2 points now, so Philly can thank Ewan for that one. Fastest lap belongs to Casper. So he gets 2 points, 2 bonus points. So well done, Casper. Unless Foxy Red steals it.
I don't think so.
Let me have a look. Is he going to... No, he's not.
No.
He's done doing some donuts though, so fair enough. So, that was our sprint weekend, which was... The sprint race was a bit more chaotic, but at least the feature race was a bit more calm. So thank you guys for keeping it more calm than Miami at least. Because Miami was a bit interesting a while back, but it is Mercedes that was on top at their home Grand Prix. And it is a Brit that wins his own Grand Prix. He's going to be absolutely delighted with himself. The champagne flies then as we'll get your results. So Slenderman wins from Charlie, from Timo, from Cam, Casper, Matta, Kieran, Jinx, Flexi, Tony, Finley. You and are your point scorers. Foxy Red your final finisher. And 3 retirements of Speed Knighton, J-Luke and Hayden. So that is your weekend for the British Grand Prix, and next week it's going to be interesting for the both of us because they are going to be heading to Monaco.
Excellent. Can't wait for that one to be carnage.
Well, luckily ghosting's on, but I think for most of them it's about surviving. If they survive, my advice is if you survive, you'll get a decent result. You'll get points. So I think the drivers are going to be putting in a lot of practice, to tell you the truth, regarding that. But so many points on offer here today, and any final thoughts before we wrap up and get on with the rest of our evening?
Well, it's been a kinetic race, but beautiful up and down, a little bit of drama, a little bit of action in the sprint. Controversy here and there in the race as well, a lot of drama, but it's been entertaining. Monaco in 7 days' time. It's going to be one of those races which anything can happen.
Exactly, and I would like you guys to be there for it. Make sure you follow us, subscribe to us on our YouTube, like this video and hit that notification bell if you are new. Also follow us on Twitter at VSL_F1 and Instagram at VSL_F1. Follow us on our Patreon as well, link in the description. You could also follow myself and Liam on Twitter. I'm at JessGave95, Liam is at LiamUmedia. The more followers the VSL account and us get, it's appreciated as well. And we stream every Wednesday night at 8 PM, and also Tier 2 does as well. Hopefully we'll get more drivers next week, and there are still sign-ups open, by the way, if you are interested in becoming a driver with us. If you are interested, contact the VSL account on Twitter at VSL_F1, and who knows, we could be commentating on you next week. So for myself and Liam, we will let you get on with the rest of your evening. Enjoy the rest of it. We will see you in 7 days' time for the Monaco Grand Prix. Goodbye.